Hey everybody, I am Peter Parker Kendall. And this is Cape Swoosh Productions' first top 10 list. And as you can tell, we are going to be talking about Spider-Man. Specifically, we're going to talk about Spiderverse, the top 10 new outfits in Spiderverse. And as the resident webhead in the group, I will be announcing it for you. So enjoy! Alright, so we're starting off with number 10. Number 10, I like Jessica Drew the most, aka Spider-Woman, the grown-up version of her. She got a lot of action in Spider-Verse. She got a bunch of different outfits, and the best part about her is that she spent a majority of Spider-Verse actually in the lair of the Inheritors, where an alternate version of her was actually being a girlfriend to one of the Inheritors. So you got to see, like, crazy, creepy, evil Jessica in, like, this cool red dress. And you got to see, like, evil pirate Jessica. So Jessica got actually 2 new outfits in this one, and they both looked really awesome. All right, going on to number 9 is the Anarchic Spider-Man. A lot of people call him Spider-Punk. He has this great spiked mohawk, and you didn't know who he was for a while. He just kind of showed up in the background, didn't really have an entrance. And then finally, when you found out who he was, he got his own side comic, and it was great. It was a lot of anti-military, anti-government, all like punk rock, and the issue he had for himself actually had a lot to do with Venom. And since Venom's weakness is sound, having someone who is very into punk rock really helped that out. He's got a sweet outfit and a nice denim jacket and spiked head and looked badass. Going on to number 8 is one of the new spiders they introduced and actually started Spider-Verse, Silk, aka Cindy Moon. She actually has about 3 different outfits also. The first one was just webbing she put on herself because she didn't want to run around in her clothes. And the second one is actually a web anti-nuclear radiation field that she put on herself for a certain alternate universe that had a lot of nuclear radiation so the spiders could run away. But the best one is her real outfit, which is her silk outfit. And it's got this great, she's got her long black hair, it's white and black with this cool webbing around her torso, and of course the cool bandit spider scarf thing over her mouth that looks awesome. Going on to number 7 are the Japanese Spider-Man. They actually make a joke in Spider-Verse about how many Japanese Spider-Men there are for some reason. So I'm really just going to loop them up all into one and actually emphasize one I like the most, which was the manga Spider-Man. Not the manga-verse Spider-Man, which got his own spin-off. I specifically like the black and white sketch-drawn manga Spider-Man because I think he just had such a cool, stark difference. And he only showed up in the background a few times, but he looked really awesome to me. But the other ones looked really good also. Moving on to number 6 is the aptly placed 60s Spider-Man. Actually, didn't do that on purpose. The classic meme across the internet that you've probably seen actually made an appearance in Spider-Verse. Had a bunch of really cool moments in it and actually had this really nice vibe of classic Spider-Man. He actually was able to inspire a lot of the newer Spider-Man with his old classic, kind of Captain America-esque, like Machismo, just beat the bad guys because we're the good guys, because a lot of the modern Spider-Men are too hopped up with all these different emotions, so 60 Spider-Man is just like, yes, they're bad, we're good, let's punch them. And the look of him is that nice classic look of very thin lines around the side, very easy to draw, and looked really interesting against all the new higher defined Spider-Man, and looks great. Alright, moving on to number 5 was another new spider they introduced in Spider-Verse, SP//DR. A lot of people are going at Robot Spider, Mech Spider. It actually is piloted by a small girl named Penny Parker, a small Japanese girl who is actually in her universe. The spiders are kind of a police force, and she inherits that from her father and gets trained through that, but she gets this awesome spider mech power suit with these great shoulder blades and looks around. It looks awesome and scary, and it's nice to see a scary mechanized version of the spider outfit. Going on to number 4 is a Spider-Man you don't get to see very often. It's the Cosmic Spider-Man. Cosmic Spider-Man is personally one of my favorites because it's arguably when Peter was the most powerful in his entire life. The Spider-Man at one time was able to get the power cosmic and actually became a godlike being and was able to control all of reality itself. And in this reality, Peter kept that power and was able to be this great white, and you could see the universe inside of like the black and white parts of him, and he looks white, and he's a god, and he looks great. He doesn't get so great of an end in Spider-Verse, but I won't spoil that for anybody else. Moving on to the top 3. Number 3 is another new one, another mechanical one, and another new lady they brought in. Lady Spider. She is probably going to get her own spin-off series because she looks great. It's this great combination of the Superior Spider-Man or the Iron Spider outfit with the detachable legs, the 4 detachable legs around the back, but this great steampunk Victorian vibe to it. She's got a corset, she's got cool goggles, she speaks properly. She is just this badass swinging around girl who's a mechanic and just looks great. The outfit looks beautiful, and I very much look forward to reading her series now that Spider-Verse is over. Moving on to number 2 is the Master Weaver. He was introduced in Spider-Verse also. He's got this great gold webbing look coming out of this giant ball of web, and he actually creates the Web of Life and the Web of Fate, and actually the entire Spider-Verse revolves around pretty much this character. The Inheritors capture him and make him control fate for them, and that allows them to jump through dimensions. So he's a central character in the entire series and is slowly trying to help the spiders reveal themselves and actually win. And he's got that great look with 6 creepy eyes in front and this gold, like, constrained. He reminds me of something out of Greek mythology, and it's just so cool to watch this, like, tortured, beautiful being. And before I get to number 1, I actually want to do a special shout out actually to the Inheritors. Even though they're the bad, horrible guys, the Inheritors actually have some really cool outfits. They've got, again, that old Victorian buttoned up, tight outfits, but they looked great. They were villains that I enjoyed looking, where a lot of villains now look evil and demonic and like having all like messed up outfits. These people look very proper and very nice, and even though they were devouring hundreds of thousands of spiders through all over different dimensions, they were pretty cool to look at. And now, let's go on to number 1. For those of you who know pretty much anything about Spider-Verse or Spider-Man over the past year, you pretty much know who I'm going to say next. When this person was announced, somebody got a promotion at Marvel. Somebody suggested, let's make Spider-Gwen, and everyone's minds explode. Because as soon as this woman came onto the scene, she had a great entrance, and she had such a unique and cool look to her. Purple and white is so different because a lot of the other spiders are all variations on the classic reds and blues. And she is so different and looks so unique. And to my recollection, not many other comics use a purple as their main color besides the new Hawkeye comics. So it was very cool to see that come out. And as soon as she came on the scene, you knew she was going to stay around for a while because they would not put this much work into a character and not have her stay around for a while. And she just looked great and so nice, and you could tell that she was getting her own series. And she will be. On February 25th, she actually released her first issue written by Jason Latour and drawn by Robbie Rodriguez, who actually drew her in her original announcement in the Spider-Verse comics, and she looks great, and I'm very much looking forward to picking up the first issue for this because I know I'm not alone in saying this. I love Gwen. Hey everybody, hope you enjoyed the list. Tell us in the comments below if you agree or disagree with any of ours, and what spiders are your favorite from all across the Spider-Verse. Be sure to comment and subscribe to Cape Swoosh Productions because we have a lot more videos like this in the future, so check us out. Bye everyone.